This is Momxiety with Sav Social. I'm your host, Samantha. Let's get right into it before the baby wakes up. Hey guys, we're back with another episode. It is already episode 3 of Momxiety season 2. I can't believe it. I had planned to have my mom on this episode. However, we filmed probably for about an hour and a half, and we slowly realized we could not record together because we were hysterical laughing the whole time, and although it's funny to us, I don't know how funny it would be for you guys to be watching. It's definitely a blooper clip that I'm going to be posting because it was just too much. We're going to plan another episode one day soon, but for now I think it's best that we just not film together because it was really funny. But we spoke a lot about empty nesting, and then we also spoke about her journey with diabetes. So although that's more of a serious topic, obviously, we had a lot of laughs in the beginning, but so that's why we had to switch gears a little bit this episode. But yeah, I have some other topics I want to talk to you guys about anyway, so today is a solo episode. So, as the seasons change in motherhood, but also as in the time of year, you start to, as they get older, you start to want to get them out of the house more, and traveling with a toddler can be a little bit intimidating. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I've definitely come a long way, and I'm sure a lot of you moms who are first having their baby, it's scary to leave the house, whether it's for safety reasons or, meeting new moms, just doing things that you've never done before can be scary, and that's kind of why I wanted to shed light on it, because so much has changed from my perspective, and I want to give you guys tips on how to make your traveling experience a little bit easier. So one thing that I really think is best to do is to always prepare in advance. This is for anything in life, of course, but packing a diaper bag prior to your event. I know a lot of times after I leave an event, I don't think about the diaper bag till I do something else. And then I'll leave the house and realize that everything that I filled up on needs to be restocked. So always restocking in advance. But another thing I learned is to pack up your car. So I actually have a little basket in the car. It has extra toys, books, diapers. I will say, though, do not leave your wipes in the car in the winter because they were frozen, and that was one challenge that I just recently went through, and that might sound like common sense, but I was just throwing it in the car, not thinking, right? I don't know if it's the mom brain in me or what it was, but don't leave wipes in the car because they will freeze in the winter. Just keeping your car stacked, and even having extra snacks, binkies, like this bin has helped me so much, and it's making leaving the house a little less intimidating when you have it prepared in advance. Even like prepping bottles the night before, if your child is still drinking bottles, like having them in the fridge and ready to go is so important. If you have a far trip planned, just remember that you're probably going to stop, and if you're like me and kind of have to prepare in advance, just think of places that you feel comfortable stopping, pulling over in advance, whether it's like a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that. I feel like it's good to kind of have that in your mind, just because I know for me, when I was traveling with my son in the beginning by myself, I was so nervous to stop anywhere. I'm a very we're going from A to B. I don't stop in between. I've always been like that. But, if they're crying or they drop their binky, whatever the case may be, it's always good to just have it in your mind where you're going to stop, just to make you feel comfortable. And then as you go, then you don't even think, you just pull over if you have to pull over. But those are just some tips I have for traveling with a toddler, depending on how far you're going, or if you're alone. Those obviously could play a role in how you prepare. But like I said, with the seasons changing in winter, it could be challenging to get your kids out of the house. I actually joined a mom group called Mingling Moms, Mingling Mamas, and they have really truly expanded my ideas, and also just it's more comforting knowing, even though I don't know them like that yet, that we've definitely come a long way, but you don't really know them. It's always good to have somebody that you have to back you up. For example, if you left something home, all the kids are around the same age, so it's really nice, it's comforting to have women around you that are going through the same thing, that might be trying to get their kids out of the house as well, especially during the winter, just because obviously playing outside might not be an option right now. So joining a group is so important. I really feel like I've learned so much from them, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about is creating things in the house as well that they kind of brought to my attention. So, for example, creating sensory bins for your child. So depending on their age, there's so many options out there. You do not have to, break the bank, but you could still make it educational, but on a budget. One place I really like is the dollar store. They have so many things for your kids. Like, for example, we just made a barnyard / zoo. We got all the animals in there, but basically it just teaches your kid imagination, but also fine motor skills, whether they're picking up things with tweezers or putting those little pom-poms in, for example, I created little holes in the box where he's feeding the spider, right? And it's just teaching them to put things inside of other things, and just, like I said, building up their imagination and really helping them be creative, but in an educational way. So I really feel like that was one thing I really gained from this mom group. And yeah, so they just have shared so much with me, and I've also joined a homeschool group, which we'll get into that in a little bit, but just kind of going out of your comfort zone with things and being creative with your kids is so important. Okay, I just completely lost my train of thought, but joining a group and having meetups with them is really cool too, because you're also parenting in a different way, and you're also seeing your kids interact with other kids and kind of teaching them how to share. Obviously, as an only child, he doesn't have to share anything at this point. He shares with me and my husband and family, but he's never been around kids his age, and joining this group and getting out of the house more has really made him more outgoing, and we're still learning, so I'm still learning as well, and learning how to parent out of the house definitely is different, even if it's just going to the store with him, and let's say he has a tantrum, right? That's something that I've never experienced yet, and I know I touched upon this in a few episodes ago, but as the days go on and we do more things out, I'm learning more, he's learning more, and although we don't have full communication yet with him, he is starting to understand when he's allowed to do something versus when he's not. For example, if we go to the library and he's running around, he's slowly getting it. It's not, perfect yet, but just to parent in front of other parents is tricky because you don't want to feel judged or feel uncomfortable, but really we're the ones that are going to be teaching them, so it's okay to, like I said, step out of that comfort zone. Definitely traveling out of the house. So one thing I learned, though, and accepted is what I mean, one thing I accepted with traveling and getting out of the house every single day is that nap time may vary. So whether it's him taking an earlier nap or him taking a later nap or taking 2 naps versus 1, we're kind of working around that and trying to keep him with the structure a little bit. So knowing when he's going to fall asleep and but also being flexible that if something else changes, like he knows how to switch gears a little bit. And obviously it's really important for kids to have structure and a routine in their life. But also having that flexibility with certain things, of course. Another challenge that I've come across when leaving the houses every day is that I am falling behind on household chores. And although my screen is showing this part in front of me right now is coffee on the table, we have folded laundry, we have unfolded laundry, we have crayons all on the floor and written all over one of his toys. Then we have a box here of, I don't know if you guys remember, I posted that gingerbread house from Christmas, completely demolished now. So that's going in the garbage this weekend, recycling this weekend. We have books, like this is just my square that might look perfect right now, but my point is that as you go out and continue to try something new, you also might be falling behind in other parts of your life, and it's just the season, and it is what it is. There's dishes in the sink. Dinner's cooked, though, so that's good. But you might have things that are checked off and then some things that are not checked off, and that's okay. And that's kind of just the whole experience right now, and I feel like I've definitely come a long way in not being so, it has to be like this. And just like he's becoming more flexible and doing different things, so am I, and that's just how it is right now. So I'm just accepting that, and it's either or, you know, like if we're going to be out all day, of course the house is not going to be perfect. If we're inside all day, still not perfect because we're living in the house and we're doing activities. So these are just things that I've accepted, and I'm sure a lot of other women feel the same way, that it could be overwhelming, but you kind of just have to say, you know what, today I'm focusing on this, and you know, maybe tomorrow we're not going to go out, but today I'm going to go out, and you know, it is what it is, and that's just the time of the year. And you know, once summer comes and we're playing outside during his nap time, I could focus on doing household chores. So it's just, I've learned that the house is always going to look lived in because it is, and to just accept that, and there'll always be something to do. So those are some of the things that we are currently going through. Just taking your kids out of the house, doing a lot of sensory bins, like I said. Just let me go back to that really quick. So a few things that I recently bought were beans, macaroni. Those are like the base of the sensory bin. We bought little tweezers, obviously not ones for your eyebrows, they're children plastic ones. Pom-poms, yarn, could be really good like spaghetti if you want to do like a spaghetti soup. He's very into mixing right now, so whether it's putting water in a bowl, I'm not kidding, he'll sit there for like 40 minutes just playing, putting his toys in it. You could buy sponges. And these things, like I said, do not have to be expensive. Everything is on a budget. Because to be honest, like how long can you possibly do this? Then we'll rotate the sensory bin. But currently, I have the barnyard activity in it. But we can always put literally anything. Obviously, depending on your child's age, make sure you know they're not putting things in their mouth. So if they were, you could always just do water. You could do. You know, for like Easter, when you put that stuff in the little crinkle stuff in the basket, that's another good option. I learned that from one of the homeschool moms. And yeah, just kind of like, I don't have the space to kind of hold everything in one area, but, if you do, it's really cool. She gave us a really cool idea that she had them all organized. It was like a closet filled of just sensory bin, activities, whether it's little trucks and just any little figurines, like just things like that, just to keep their mind creative and active, I guess you would say, and for it to be educational as well is really important. I know I mentioned a few times now that I was joined a homeschool group, so although he's not being homeschooled currently, like in a formal way, right, he's still too young, we definitely have been thinking about it a lot, and I really am excited that I joined this group because they give you so many tips, whether it's just mom questions, whether it's food, let's say recipes that they really want to share with one another, just because nowadays there's so many things getting recalled, I cannot keep up with it, and it's pretty cool that they have all these resources. They have events planned where you go to museums. It's a really great group, and like I said, he's on the younger end of everybody else, but this is, whether I do it or not, it's just really cool that I'm a part of it, and I'm gaining so much knowledge from it. So that's kind of an update. Oh, and also, he's going to be starting a swim class. To be honest, I was like, I don't know if this is necessary at his age, but I'm realizing we have a pool. We don't have a pool, but my parents have a pool. Obviously, in the summer, we're invited to pool parties. We go to the beach. Like, I want him to, be a little bit, I want to feel more comfortable with him being around in these spaces because he's very active and he's turned into a little daredevil, so I could totally see him just jumping in, and I'm not ready for that. So thank God it's not summer yet, but hopefully within a month or 2 months, I don't know how long we're going to do the class. His first one is this weekend. We'll see if, a little bit of a change. Obviously, he's not going to be Michael Phelps or anything like that yet, but I really hope that he gains a little bit from this, and for myself, I feel a little bit at ease with the fact that he's going to be around these things this summer. So that's pretty much an update from me personally. Just to recap, traveling with toddlers and how to prepare. Create sensory bins if you're staying in the house. I know it's kind of hard to get out in the winter. If you do get out, make friends with other moms. They are feeling the same exact thing. They might feel lonely. You might meet people, business-wise. There's so many walks of life out there, and just open yourself up, like make the friend. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but then you become like besties with them, and it's nothing. I'm also cringing because I just said besties, but let's just get past that. But yeah, so I really appreciate you guys listening in to Momxiety another week. Like I said, hopefully we'll regroup with my mom and have her on here about those 2 topics that we spoke about. So I really appreciate you guys. Always tune in, and if you guys have any questions, I'm always open to answering them. So please like and subscribe all my videos. I would really appreciate that, and we will talk soon. See ya!